and my realistic, honest expectations don't think I'm gonna win.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Bumstead, who talked about his mindset just 2 weeks prior to his men's open bodybuilding debut, which is going to be happening at this year's Prague show. So for the very first time in 8 years, Bumstead wants to do this show without any pressure, because we all know previously he has been doing only one show, the Olympia, and that always puts a lot of pressure.
And my realistic, honest expectations don't think I'm gonna win. But I'm still gonna try my hardest to look my best. And if I can give these guys a run for their money.
But that being said, I have to say the media, the bodybuilding fans, everyone is setting up extremely high expectations for Bumstead at his first ever open pro show. So here is what Cbum himself has to say about his own expectations. So all the people who believe Cbum is gonna beat a guy like Martin Fitzwater, they are gonna have to take a chill pill. Because the thing is, even Cbum himself, he doesn't believe that.
With 0 time prepping to be an open bodybuilder, the opposite, losing some muscle to make weight, bouncing back, having a good time and looking good and full up there. Like I never had a chance to really just not care about being dry and tight on stage and making weight and just being full as fuck. If I can do that and have fun and not spill over and look like a water buffalo, it'll be a grand old time.
So we are so used to seeing him in an incredible condition, so peeled, so separated, every time he steps on the Olympia stage. So him trying to come in a lot more harder and fuller, with a bit of less detail and less dryness, that itself is gonna be sort of a gamble. Because Martin and all these other guys, they are gonna be really ripped, not to mention absolutely shredded to the bone. But the takeaway from Cbum's this video is that he doesn't really care about his placings. Doing a men's open show, that was on his bucket list, and he just wants to enjoy this weekend. He just wants to enjoy that whole experience. Now, I have to say, if he's able to place top 3 in Prague Pro, that in itself is gonna be such a huge accomplishment. Because he did not try to grow from men's open bodybuilding. He just transitioned from doing a classic physique show to a men's open show by going through a rebound phase. Next up, we have an update from the mutant, Nick Falker, and his latest statement that we should not call this a comeback.
I wouldn't even say my comeback. I never left.
Now, I have to say that is kinda funny, because even he himself, he was calling it a comeback less than 2 weeks back. And I am gonna put his own caption here. So there has been so much chatter about Nick Falker and who is gonna coach him moving forward from this point. And one thing that we learned from his latest YouTube video is that 2 of the names that are floating around, Honey Rampart and Stefan, his next coach is none of these 2 guys.
Who's your coach? Is it Honey? Is it Outlaw? Who is that?
I'm on the mends of making a decision very soon, but it's none of those. I'll just tell you that now.
Now, I don't think he is working with anyone as of right now, because Nick Falker has been doing this for a long time, and it's not like he's competing in a few weeks' time. So he knows exactly what he needs to do, how he needs to train, and what his diet should be at this stage of the year. Now, eventually he is gonna hire someone when he is close to competing. But if he is, in fact, going for the Pittsburgh Pro, now that is a show that is months away from now, and if I'm not mistaken, about 6 months away. So I think we are gonna have to wait for a while before he reveals who is coaching him, who is gonna be in charge of this ship. Now, one thing in my opinion Nick Falker should not do moving forward is make all those big claims and all those big statements. And yes, I know he was top 3 in the world, but that was about 2 years back. So he needs to let his physique do all the talking and on the stage, rather than hyping himself up again. Now, I know Nick Falker has always been really confident. He always believed in himself that he is gonna be Miss Olympia. But the way things have changed, especially after Samson Dauda winning the Olympia this year, and a guy like Martin Fitzwater absolutely smashing it on the Olympia stage at his Olympia debut, Nick Falker has got a lot of work to do. Next up, we have an update from the Conqueror, William Bonac, 3 weeks post-Olympia this year, where I have got to say, William Bonac shocked the whole bodybuilding world by placing 7th in the world, because not one bodybuilding media outlet or any of the other bodybuilding experts saw that coming. And now there is absolutely no reason for William Bonac to consider retirement when he is 7th best bodybuilder in the world and he has a realistic chance at winning multiple shows in 2025 season. And the man can make some good money while doing all these shows, just like he did by winning Emperor Classic Spain and placing 2nd at this year's Dubai Pro. Now Bonac looks really impressive 3 weeks post-Olympia this year in the recovery phase, and that caption confirms that once his blood work is done and when he makes sure that he is 100% healthy, he is gonna start getting ready to hit his show sometime in 2025. Now William Bonac did beat a bunch of great guys at this year's Miss Olympia, including the former Miss Olympia Brennan Carey and a guy like Rafael Brandao. So that all-man muscle quality that really came into play, plus his ability to get in absolutely superb conditioning. And that is why William Bonac is always going to be such a dangerous competitor in most of the shows that he enters. While all these other guys, they struggle to nail it on the stage. William Bonac, on the other hand, he is always shredded. So for those of you guys who do not know, William Bonac made his Olympia debut a decade ago, and that was at the Olympia 2014. And he has to be one of the most successful bodybuilders of this decade, with multiple Arnold Classic wins and top listings at the Olympia as well. Next up, we have a 2-week out physique update of the giant killer, Shaun. So is there a solid chance that both of Stefan's guys, Martin Fitzwater and Shaun, they are gonna be number 1 and number 2 here in Prague? So Martin has been such a success this year, but Shaun is definitely entering this show to redeem himself because he looked sliced and diced at the Olympia this year against Keon, but he was just way too small to really pose a threat to Keon Pearson. So here is his chance to bring in more size, more fullness, and more muscularity compared to what we saw at the Olympia this year, because that is what he will be needing to compete against all these big guys, especially against a guy like Martin. So Flex Lois seems very impressed with this look of Shaun that he has right now, and Flex has seen many grades of this game. Now it is gonna be a test for Stefan as well, because this is Shaun's first show with him, and he literally had no time to understand his body. Now I just think that Shaun just overdid it for the Olympia this year. I mean, the man was looking so damn shredded while they were shooting the Battle of the Olympia video for the 212 class with Keon Pearson, and that was around 10 weeks out. So I think in order to get deeper abs, in chase of a tighter midsection, he just gave up too much size. And I'm not gonna lie, many of the fans, they did not even have him in their top 2 after this year's Olympia prejudging. Now he is gonna be one of the biggest names at this year's Prague, and apparently everyone, including Shaun, they want to get compared to Chris Bumstead. So this is a comparison posted by Shaun himself on his Instagram. Now the question is, can Shaun beat Cbum? Well, he was able to beat a guy like Regan Grimes back in 2021, and Regan is of similar height as Chris Bumstead. Now Chris is gonna be about 250 on the stage, while on the other hand, Shaun is gonna be somewhere in the 170s. So this is gonna be a very interesting comparison. Next up, we have an update from Seth Fosu, and we all have one question in our minds. Why isn't he doing a show, irrespective of where he places? That's a shrine look right there, and one hell of a physique. And as far as his lower half is concerned, Seth was always known for having insane quads. The man is, without any shadow of a doubt, a freak of nature. And if Seth decides to make a comeback at one of these 212 shows, this will be such a great comeback story. And who knows, he might do extremely well, because based on this update, the man looks absolutely mind-blowing and totally nuts. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Seth hasn't stepped on any bodybuilding stage for almost a decade now. And looking back at some of his contest pictures, the man really knew how to come in truly shredded. I guess he just retired way too early. So how many of you guys want Seth Fosu to do a show in the near future? I believe Wad and all these other guys, they are definitely gonna convince him to do a show the next time he appears on the Pro Chat. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.